Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another Rich Team podcast where we talk about all real estate over here, right? My name is Ben the Rich. I'm a dancehall Jamaican artist, but I also invest in real estate. This channel is owned by me and my little brother Roger, aka Rob, and he's also a real estate investor and he's also a drummer. Today we're going to be talking about, is it a good time now to buy property in real estate now that the interest rate is so high? And when do you think interest rate will go down? Okay. First, before I even start, I want you guys to like. I'm so sorry. I don't edit videos, so you're gonna see that sneeze in the video. I like for it to be raw and authentic, so I don't miss anything or cut anything out. Or probably cut out some form of important information that could be beneficial to you guys. As I tell you before, and I'm telling you again, in all my videos, it's authentic, it's organic, and I'm not making up anything that I'm telling you. I'm telling you things that you do in real life. That means if I'm showing you, I'll be your guinea pig, as I said before. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So I want to say shout out to my little brother Roger, aka Rob. He's doing his thing. As you see, we are very consistent with the videos so far because we are very adamant about helping you guys and showing you guys and teaching you guys how you could get in real estate. It's up to you what you want to do with the knowledge. I'm here, I'm giving you free knowledge. As I tell you before, a lot of people, you got to pay a lot of money for this type of knowledge. So let me jump into the topics and see what's going on. Okay, so when is a good time? Right now, interest rate is high. So for me as an investor, when interest rate is high, it's a good time for me to buy a house. And it's a good time for you to buy a house too. This is why. It's called supply and demand. It's a ripple effect with interest rate and the house market. So when the interest rate is high, the houses are cheaper when you have a higher interest rate. So I'm going to teach you today how to make money when interest rate is high and then when it goes low. So right now, interest rate is high. So I love buying now because I get great deals because you don't have a lot of buyers on the market because interest rate is so high. So right now you get a lot of great deals. So now that interest rate right now is 7%. So right now I buy a house at 7% for $200,000 using simple numbers so you guys understand. So I buy a house right now at 7% for $200,000. But guess what? When interest rate goes to 3%, because interest rate goes down, the houses now become more expensive. So the same house that I bought when the market was at 7% for $200,000, by the time interest rate goes back down to 3% or 2.5%, the same house is valued $400,000 to $500,000. So that's when I do a thing called a refinance cash out. So I buy the house when the interest rate is at 7%. I'm going to refinance the house. So now I catch the low interest rate at 3%. And then I cash out my equity that's in the house because now I have over $300,000 in equity that I could cash out. Say the house go up to $550,000, I could cash out at least $300,000 of my equity and refinance the house. So now I'm at a lower interest rate. This is when now in the lower interest rate is when the market picks up and more people want to buy houses because a lot of people, they are rate shoppers. I'm not a rate shopper. I'm a numbers guy. If the numbers make sense, I'm going to do it. So let me break it down and explain it again. When interest rate is high, the houses on the market is cheaper and you have less buyers, so you get better deals. When interest rate is low, there's a lot of competition in the market. So an investor should buy as much property when you're going to go into real estate investment, or even if you're buying your primary residence, you could do the same. You could buy now that interest rate is high. So the houses are a little bit cheaper because of the high interest rate. And then when the interest rate goes down to 3 or 4%, you refinance your house and you pull the equity out of it. So you pull 100,000 equity out of it, you could use that $100,000 to buy another house. That's $100,000 that you never worked for. That's $100,000 you wasn't even expecting to get. That's $100,000 that could let you quit your job that you hate. So you see how it works when the interest rate is high versus when the interest rate is low. So that's why don't be afraid to buy when interest rate is high. Don't follow people. Oh, I'm not buying any house now because interest rate is too high. No, that's not how it works. The numbers is what have to make sense. If I'm going to buy a house in a market when the interest rate is 7% and that house is worth 200,000 and I could sell that same house or refinance and cash that same house out, when interest rate goes down to 3 or 4%, and that same house is now $500,000 to $600,000 because now we have a competitive market. So it drives up the value of real estate. So now the houses are more expensive because when interest rate is low, the house is more expensive. I hope you guys got that. I hope you guys write that down. Okay, a lot of people is asking me, hey, Binderich, what's your prediction on when you think interest rate would actually go down? So that's a great question. This is my prediction. You have to watch a lot of business news, see what the government is doing. The media really is not there to educate you, but you could pick the sense out of the nonsense. For example, right now, election is coming up. One of the parties is running based on low interest rate. I'm predicting that interest rate is gonna go down to at least between 4 and 5%. I don't think interest rate for no time soon will ever go back to like that 2.5 or 3%. I don't think it's gonna go there anytime soon, but I think because it's election here, interest rate is gonna go down to at least between 4 and 5% before election is actually in full effect. So I'm giving it another couple months or so, a year max, for interest rate to really go back down, where the house market is going to go crazy again, based on the fact that the current government is also running on a lower interest rate. You can't make, if they want to win again, you can't promise the people that. You got to show that you are serious about what you said. So I'm betting, based on those conversations that I'm hearing in the media, based on those conversations I'm hearing from the government, that's my prediction that interest rate will go down within another couple months. So you see, there's so much ways that you could, take advantage of, like, the interest work. And you got to know numbers work. So in real estate is a lot of numbers. Everything is about numbers. You know what I mean? When you're buying a house, you have to know. That's why you do a thing they call an appraisal, which, who doesn't know what an appraisal is? Appraisal is when you hire a company, they go out and they value the house based on the comps and what the other house, your size and square footage, is selling for in the neighborhood. So say most of the house in the neighborhood is selling for 400,000 with the same square footage. Depends if yours is newly renovated or not. You may get a little more on it, or if it's not renovated, you may get a little less. But it's gonna be in that ballpark figure. It's not gonna be far off. So that's why you do an appraisal. So you don't buy a house over market value. I don't believe in buying houses over market value. And I believe that if I'm buying a house, it has to have some form of equity in the house that I'm buying. And that's big for me, because you're in the business of making money. And it's not all house deal is a good house deal, because in the pandemic, I see so many people made so many mistakes. I've seen people offering, and I've seen this. I've seen people offered over $100,000 over market value to buy a house just to outbid the other buyer because the market is so hot. You remember when I spoke to you earlier about low interest rate? So in the pandemic, the interest rate was very, very low. So everybody and their mama was looking for a house to buy. Then the government was giving away money left, right, and center. People that never held the $10,000 before was getting like $40,000 from the government, $100,000 from the government. So everybody went crazy and just started buying up these houses. And they're buying the house, and people didn't care in the pandemic. I don't know why. People didn't care in the pandemic. Even in the pandemic, I found one of my best deals ever in real estate in the pandemic, because real estate, I told you, it's not a sprint. You have to be patient, and it's a long distance game. You have to be very, very patient when it comes to real estate. So in the pandemic, when everybody was running around and they were going crazy, I just sat with my realtor and I said, we're going to find the perfect deal. And I ended up buying a home in the pandemic, and I got one of the biggest deals of my real estate career. I got one of the biggest deals in the pandemic when everybody and their mama was going crazy, overpaying for houses, because you can't go in a business that you don't understand. And that's why I'm educating you guys and I'm teaching you guys every mistake that I made. I don't want you to make them. I'm telling you the real way. Sit down and wait on the right deal. It's gonna feel right. When you're signing the paperwork, you're gonna know that it's right. Sit down and wait on the right deal. And I'm gonna let you in a little bit. Let me let you in some game. So let me tell you the deal I got. So in the pandemic, when everybody was overpaying for houses, 100,000, 200,000, everybody was overpaying for their house, I was able to get a deal. When I finished fixing up the house, and I end up holding that house. When I finished fixing up the house, within a year of when I was finished, I had over $1 million in equity in the house. Meaning, if I should sell the house, I could walk away with $1 million. So you have to be patient in the real estate game. And still, I said to myself, I said, you know what? If the equity in this house is built so fast, just over a year period, I'm going to hold this house for like 5 years. And I'm not selling this house until it worth between $2.5 to $3 million. I will not sell it. So I say I'm going to hold on at it for another couple of years before I let it go. Because real estate is not a sprint. We're playing, it's a long distance game. So the reason why I'm letting you guys in my life, and I'm not going to tell you everything, but I'm just going to give you game. Like, that's public records. You know what I mean? It's not something that, everyone can't go and see. But I'm just trying to show you and tell you that real estate is not a sprint. So don't come in here and expect to be rich overnight or have a lot of money overnight. I've been doing real estate for over 10 years. If I tell you the amount of stuff I went through in real estate, I slept on floors. I slept in abandoned houses that we bought, but I can't just leave it because people will come in and they'll take what they want because it's not secured properly. I've slept on couches. I've slept in houses where there's no heat. There's no heat in the winter and there's no AC in the summertime. I've slept in houses where you can't even sleep properly because of the scent in the house. But I gotta stay there to secure it. I'm just telling you when I started out in the game. I've been through a lot. So a lot of times, and let me tell you this, and I don't know who I'm speaking to. When you see people with their things and you see people with their stuff, I don't grudge anyone because you don't know what that person went through to get what they have. I made sacrifices that people wasn't willing to make. You know what I mean? I walked, I made sacrifice like work over 24 hours in a day. Sometimes I'm going 48 hours. I make sacrifices like sleeping in abandoned houses because I don't want people to come in and strip out the copper and steal the stuff that's actually there already that could be of good use to save me some money before I fix up the house. As I told you before, I've slept on couches because there's no furniture in the house that we just bought in order to renovate it. I've slept in houses with no window in it, so I'm not protected, my safety. I've slept in houses where I have to sleep with my gun between my legs, and because it's not secured. I have a license firearm, so I'm allowed to say that. Yeah. So it's just a lot, and don't see anyone with their things and want it. Do not see anyone with it, because you don't know what that person been through. You don't know what the person do in life. You don't know what the person been through to own what they have. So I've never seen anyone with anything and grudge them for it. I've seen people with things, and I become inspired to say, you know what? I like Lamborghinis. So I saw someone with it and I was inspired. I'm like, hey, I gotta get a Lamborghini. I like big houses. I saw someone with big houses. I'm like, hey, I could get myself a big house if I work hard. And I try to speak to people. Remember, your network, the people that you surround yourself with, is the biggest assets in life. Those are the people that decide whether you make it or you break it. If you don't have people that around you that has the same mindset as you, it's not going to work. And I have a lot of lonely days because I don't know a lot of people that's willing to work as hard as me. I don't know a lot of people that willing to grind as hard as me. I don't know a lot of people that's willing to go the extra mile that I go to make sure that I am successful, and whatever I touch, I make sure I give it my all. A lot of people want to do mediocre work and expect big results. If you do mediocre work, you will never get a big result. You're going to get mediocre results. That's like somebody telling you, oh, I want a six-pack, but they never went to the gym. Somebody tell you, I want to lose weight, but you will never get up and run in the morning. It does not work like that. Everything is discipline. I wake up in the morning, I make sure that I don't care how I'm feeling. I am going to run that 2 miles, because guess what? I don't want to be overweight, and I want to maintain the way my body is now. That's discipline. That's why I tell you, if you're not disciplined, if you are not consistent, real estate is not for you. You have to be disciplined and you have to be consistent. And as I was telling you, get up in the morning, set long-term, set short-term goals, and go and do your thing. Don't watch who is beside you. Don't judge your success based on the person beside you, because not everybody making it is the same. If you could agree with me, I want you to leave a comment right here down in the comment section if you agree with me. You have some people, they get an iPhone 15 and that's them making it. My big brother Oral taught me this, because I was trying to encourage everybody that I met. I'm like, yo, bro, you could do this. Hey, sis, you could do better. You could do this. You could do that. My brother said to me, you can't tell people what their success is. He said, you know that you have people that will buy a BMW, live in their mom's basement, but to them, they made it. It goes low as to say, you will have someone that buy an iPhone 15, and to them, that's them making it. He said you have people that could buy a red bottom shoes or a Birkin bag, and in their mind, they made it. That's why you have people that go to work and party 7 days a week just to buy a bottle to put on a table to show everybody that, look, I could afford a bottle. And he said they will do that for the rest of their lives, because in their mind, that's them making it. You know how deep this is? That's why there's only 1% of the world that's really rich or have anything, because 1% of the world think, if I could own an iPhone 15, I could get a BMW. And if I could get a BMW, I could get a house. And if I could get a house, I could own an apartment building. Or I could open my restaurant, or I could open my own business. So people don't really think out of the box, and a lot of people live what they learn. But you gotta get out your comfort zone, broaden your territory, widen your horizon, and get to meet other people. The world is big. That's why I was telling you guys before. I thought I had a lot of money until I changed my circle. I went in a circle where I have chump change. I can't even afford to eat where these guys eat. I can't afford to drive what they drive. I couldn't afford to live where they live when I changed my circle. And then you know what? That circle pushed me until, you start leveling up with them. And then after, if I outgrow that circle, then I have to find a different circle and who want to come with me that's still willing to, because you have people when they reach a certain amount in the of assets or money in their lifetime, they tend to stop because that's their goal. They met their goal. So your goal is probably to make $10 million, but mine is to be a billionaire. So we could be traveling on the same journey. When you get to your 10 million, it's not that we're not friends anymore or I'm going to leave you behind. It's just the fact that you meet your goal and I'm only 10% I'm only 1% at mine, because I don't want to be a 10 millionaire. I want to be the first billionaire in my family. So I have a lot more work to put in. So you got to understand that. Sometimes you ever hear some friend says, as soon as, Been the Rich change because he used to hang out with us all the time. No, he barely hang out with us. He don't even call. I did not change. My circumstances change. I don't want to hang out when I could be doing something to keep growing my network and to keep growing my asset and to keep growing my portfolio. Remember, I'm doing different things now. I'm doing bigger things now. Remember, you already met your goal. So you are at a place where you could hang out, you could chill because you're comfortable in your situation. I'm not. Not because we start together doesn't mean we're going to finish together, because my finish line might not be yours and yours might not be mine. But I'm going to break down and give you more knowledge about that and stuff like that going in the future. I don't want to go over on this video. I'm already at the 20 minutes. Guys, the next video, I'll continue this conversation and elaborate more. And, different circles, how to make it. Where you see yourself, short-term, long-term goals, where you see yourself 5 years from now, what's your long-term goal, what you're going to do in 10 years, what age you want to retire. We're going to break down all of that in the next video. I just want right now you to like, subscribe, share, and tell a friend to tell a friend that we have the Rich Team Real Estate channel. Yo, Roger, big up yourself. All right, guys, see you next time. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And for all your renovation projects, you could call the number at the bottom. Someone at my team will pick up and we could renovate your home for you also, because we also have a construction company. God bless you, God keep you, and remember, put God first in everything you do. Been the Rich, Roger, aka Rob, we're out.
I got too much money, bro. I'm